Good evening, people. It's me, Courtney. I'm back again, and I'm here to talk about a section of my book, How to Survive in Babylon. And tonight, I'm going to be talking about create new healthy habits to replace old dysfunctional ones. So, to rise and thrive in Babylon, aka modern day society, it is crucial that you develop new habits and get rid of some of your dysfunctional ones. Because you see, in Babylon, remember this, Babylon is dysfunctional. It operates off chaos, madness, confusion, and destruction, right? So when you are living in an environment like this one, you're very much in survival mode, right? And you tend to pick up a lot of bad habits, right? And some of these habits are very much, coping mechanisms, right? So even though you're getting through each day, but you're engaging in bad habits, right? So bad habits could be anything, could be smoking, drinking, taking drugs, right? Any form of addictions that are very much hindering you from not just surviving, but to thrive and to do great things. You can't do great things in Babylon or just in life if you're, dysfunctional, right? And the opposite to dysfunctional is functional. So to survive and thrive in Babylon, one has to be functional, okay? So to be dysfunctional means that you're going to very much not succeed. You're not going to, your level of success is going to be low. So get rid of old habits and create new ones, okay? And I'm just going to read just a few sentences of this section of my book. We are all creatures of habit, whether those habits are good or bad. To fulfill your purpose effectively, you need to evaluate your current habits and assess them honestly. So again, if you're someone that smokes, right, smoking is obviously not a good habit. I'll be honest with you. I used to smoke, right, and that was a habit that I very much took on when I was 14 years old. Started smoking from when I was 14. I gave it up when I was about 29 years old. So smoking for 15 years. And that habit wasn't a good habit because in my last days of smoking, I was I was getting shortness of breath. And that was due to the smoking in the 15 years, right? My 15 years of smoking. So that was a bad habit. And I knew it was the smoking, and I didn't even try to deny it, right? That was a bad habit that I picked up from 14 years old, and the people that I was hanging around, they very much introduced me to smoking, right? But I'm not bitter towards those people. They were young like me. We were all young. We were all, teenagers smoking. And yeah, I very much picked up that habit from being around my peers, my friends, and they very much got me into smoking. Right, but I can't fully blame them because I could have, said no. But you give me to peer pressure, but after a period of time, I actually enjoyed smoking and I carried it on for 15 years, and it was a bad habit. And I stopped smoking at 29, right? And it's been 11 years now, about 11 years since I haven't smoked, right? And that's a new habit. My new habit is to just not smoke. Right, and it was a habit for me to smoke before I go to bed, whereas I don't do that anymore because I haven't smoked in 11 years, right? So I formed, it's about forming new habits. So it could be, you could change the way you think. So you could have a habit of thinking negative, or just looking at something and just always seeing the negative in your experience, right, in Babylon. So you could sort of form a new habit and say, well, when I go through something, whether it's traumatic, whether it's, so-called negative, try to look at the positive and what it is you've learned. Because the habit that you probably have is you've gone through something bad and you've just looked at the negative side of it and you haven't looked at the good side where you've actually learned something, you've gained some knowledge, gained some wisdom. So try to change that thinking, change that negative habit of thinking to say, okay, I went through a bad experience, but I also gained wisdom from it. Okay, right? So what other habit can I think of? It could be a case of, changing a habit where you could be saying, you know what, instead of me just, what example can I use here? So it could be a case of changing your eating habits, right? If you're somebody that's just very much binging on junk food, right? You could say, you know what, I want to change my eating habit and start eating more healthy. I want to, change my diet, cut back on my food intake, maybe trying to lose weight. Maybe you could be, you could be somebody that drinks Diet Coke, right? And Diet Coke is not good for you. All that gas, and that's going in your stomach, right? All that gas and what's in the Diet Coke, that's drinking that every day is not good for you. So you could change your habit and say, you know what, I want to stop drinking Diet Coke. I want to stop drinking fizzy drinks and start drinking more water. Maybe you could start. Maybe you can replace the Diet Coke with not just with drinking water every day, and maybe drinking some spinach. Get some greens in your system. Get some spinach, blend it up with some water. Maybe we could add some fruits to it, right? And drink that on a day-to-day basis. That could be a new habit of health. Instead of drinking Diet Coke and all these fizzy drinks every day, right? That's forming a new habit. These are just examples, right? Because to survive and thrive in Babylon, your health has got to be at its most optimal level. So you've got to start changing your habits, your dysfunctional habits, and replace it with new ones. Because doing that is going to be the key to survive and thrive in Babylon, right? Changing your habits, your bad habits, and replacing them with new ones, right? So the task I want to give you is think about all your bad habits that you have right now, not that you had in the past, the ones that you have right now, your bad habits, and think about how you can replace those bad habits with new ones. And when I say new ones, I'm not talking about another dysfunctional habit that you already, that's going to be very much like the one you've got now. I'm talking about new habits that are going to be functional, not dysfunctional. Remember, in order to survive and thrive in Babylon, you need to be functional. One cannot rise in dysfunction, right? So the aim here is to rid yourself of dysfunction and start becoming more functional. So get rid of bad habits and replace it with new ones. So think about all your bad habits and think about what good habits can you replace those bad habits with. And I'm going to leave you with that. And I'm going to end this video here, and I shall see you in my next video.